And Coulter is, of course, a best-selling author. You should get all of her books. Resistance is Futile is the latest. Get the book Demonic if you want to read about riots and mobs and the mentality of it. Also, get her column, and make sure you check out her website, AnnCoulter.com. Lots of great stuff up there. Also, follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. She's a constant tweeter. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Mark Simone?
Great. You know, I wish they would every day do those Barr hearings. I was the most entertaining. If you were running a political party, wouldn't you think, gee, that Jerry Nadler's really slimy and repulsive looking. That's not what we should put on TV. That's not going to work in middle America.
No, I know. I'd love to have heard that conversation. With Nadler insisting that he has a high Q rating. No, you got to put me on. You got to have me lead this. No, there were many hilarious. I watched about 2 hours of it. I didn't really need to. You could watch 10 minutes and get the gist. And also, the Democrats weren't letting Barr answer questions. That was one of the highlights of it. They were so unbelievably rude. I don't know who the Democrats think they're winning over with that. I guess it pleases their hardcore base to watch Democrats be nasty to Barr, but I can't see any independents or humanely possible swing voter looking at that and thinking, oh, yeah, those Democrats, I want to give them more power.
Yeah.
And in the 2 hours, there were a few exchanges. I couldn't turn it off because it was so hilarious. Nadler was fantastic. I particularly liked I think Jim Jordan complained about what I was just talking about. He said, whatever their little formal language is, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, but I think we need to give the witness time to answer the questions and not just keep firing the questions at him. And Nadler said something like, I will disregard the member's rudeness.
Yeah, oh, he goes, your rudeness is not recognized.
That's it. Thank you.
The rudeness is not recognized.
Great. I hope it gets replayed. I was writing my column last night, so I had MSNBC on all night, but it was on mute, and I didn't hear what they're bragging about, but I did see that MSNBC seems to be doing high fives over it, so I don't think we have to worry about independents getting a gander at who's going to be running the country if Trump loses. I think I mentioned this to you last week.
And they should know, the Democrats, by the way, right now at Trump headquarters, they are editing up that video. It is going to be used in 1 million TV commercials in the fall to take back the House. Yeah,
I hope so. I've been sending around to some of my friends in the media business some of the clips I wish they would find for me, the ones that made me laugh the most. I've been pessimistic about Trump's reelection, as I think you know, or I've hinted at. But recently, it really is just like warp speed of my book. Resistance is Futile. It almost doesn't matter what Trump does. He would be better off, following Biden into the basement, just shutting up until the election, because it's the Democrats who are going to lose this for him. And yet again, a long time, 2016 Trump hater, and that's back when he was good and making all those great promises, and Jared wasn't running things. People who hated him back in 2016, I now have more of them saying to me, I hate Trump. I didn't vote for him in 2016. I watched that hearing today. I have to vote for Trump. I can't let these people run the country.
No, and when Barr said, and Barr had been there 5 hours without a break, and he said, could we take a 5-minute break? And Nadler said, no! And Jim Jordan said,
break.
Joe Jordan said, it's a common courtesy every witness gets. And
okay, listeners, so if you didn't see it, you got to just keep checking C-SPAN this weekend.
Well, actually,
they'll replay it.
We have it on our webpage today. We have a bunch of highlights, the rudest moments of Jerry Nadler. So,
that's great. Thank you, Mark Simone.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But Hey, the other thing, if you're the Democrats, putting Nadler on TV, he's a repulsive figure to the middle of America. The other thing is riots and mobs, and that van shows up and arrests this criminal who was destroying police cameras. People like that. Why would Democrats think that America doesn't want that to go on?
Well, I've been thinking that, and one thing that sort of concerns me is they seem to be absolutely convinced that they are winning this election, taking back the House and taking back the Senate, and they just don't care. Because wow, do I agree with you? They've thrown their lot in with Black Lives Matter, and Antifa. Now, they do have the media helping them by not showing Americans anything that's happening and insisting that these are all peaceful protesters. I really find it kind of amazing that anyone uses the phrase peaceful protesters without irony these days. I mean, we use it on our side, but, while showing some lunatic in a helmet and black mask throwing a Molotov cocktail. But they actually still use it totally unironically.
Well, you could not show it on TV, but anybody who lives in Manhattan or who lives in New York or lives anywhere in New York City can walk around and see the streets now filled with junkies, with homeless, with protesters, with muggers, with 300 shootings last month. I wouldn't be surprised, I'm not kidding, if Donald Trump takes New York in the fall. People are disgusted here.
They should be. And I again raise my demand that you get your friend Ray Kelly to run for mayor and save the city, or anoint someone, find some other strong law and order candidate. I really think a strong Giuliani type could win, no matter how much the New York Times bashes the guy, and no matter what the polls show. New Yorkers can't be fooled. They know New York can be made safe, and this is madness what's happened to New York.
Absolutely insane. So how did this happen? How did we get stuck with Cuomo, de Blasio, and Schumer? Boy, here's a guy who really deserted us when we need him. He's nowhere to be found in all this chaos.
Well, I've been predicting this for years. My book Mugs about racial demagoguery and crime, and a lot of it is the crimes throughout. For those of you who grew up in the New York area, the big showcase crimes through the 70s and 80s. Kiko Garcia, and the You'll Be White Today, and the attack by the Muslims on the police, first under Dinkins, and then totally different situation when it happened under Giuliani. But, it was a long, hard haul under Giuliani and then Bloomberg to completely transform New York City into a wonderland, into a safe city, and mostly for the most vulnerable. And I mean, since before that book and in that book, I've been warning anyone who would listen. As soon as Democrats get control of the levers again, they're going to put it right back. They're going to put criminals on the street. And after 20 years it takes to clear out the jungle, but you stop clearing out the jungle, and it comes back overnight.
Wow.
Overnight.
Hey, that's another book you should get. Get the Ann Coulter's current book, but get the book Mugged. Mugged is this book that
racial demagoguery from the 70s to Obama. It's really fun especially if you're like me and grew up in the Connecticut area and very vaguely remember those cases. One of the things that's funny, which you're seeing now, I mean, you always see this, the media will not tell us the truth about crime, is that the initial claims, always involving, racist police, some poor innocent Dominican or something. Those are all the headline stories. And then, weeks, maybe months later, the truth comes out, and that will be whispered, on a small item on page B18 as the media looks at its shoes.
Well, so besides the other Ann Coulter books, get the book Mugged and go reread that. Also follow her on Twitter, Ann Coulter on Twitter. New website looks great, AnnCoulter.com, and the new column comes out tonight. And Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
We will make America great